Yo, what's happening? Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to the Best of the Rest show. We are here. It's Tuesday. I'm here to dissect what has happened over the weekend. You know what, man? There's only one 3-point collector in the building and he has to raise his hand up, man. If he raises his hand up,
We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. Fucking bombs, Lewis. I told you what was going to happen, fam. I told you, man, we're going to get turned over. And look what happened. Same old story. Now this is becoming a regular occurrence at the bridge. Now second home, we're calling it for you. Second home.
wow.
Big up the chat. Big up the boys.
Congratulations. It was only 1-0, brother. It should have been way more than that.
Doesn't matter. All I know is 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0. You get me, bro? I'm buzzing. Ecstatic. Test after test. Test after test. And we're doing it. We're doing it, people. But I'm going to be quiet now.
You know what's mad? Yeah, I just find it mad that Arsenal are now starting to bully Chelsea. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that in a way of trophies and whatnot, but this feels different because Chelsea used to bully Arsenal, like at Bridge and just in general, Didier Drogba. So I just find it mad. But big up to everybody who's here. Make sure you guys like the video, man. There's over 120 of you in the chat already. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. But we have to start with Chelsea, man. Chelsea's the hot topic right now. You know what, man? I've seen some crazy tweets online, you know, about we didn't pay respect enough to Tuchel and whatnot. And I'm just thinking, bloody hell, is that how bad it is at Chelsea already? That you can't go through struggle, like you can't go through a process again, you know what I mean? Where you've got to give the manager time. But, and you know what? Big up to Lewis, you know, because I watched this fan cam outside the ground. And, bro, when I see that the passion and the pain in your voice, it kind of takes me back to like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and just in general, like last year and Ralph Rangnick, where the players were just
that's great. You know. We're back to Ollie Day. Oh my!
But no, I'm just trying to say, you know, I'm not trying to banter you, but I felt the pain, man. So, where are you, bro, in this kind of thing? You know what I mean? Because people are saying bring Tuchel back. These are top accounts, you know, on Chelsea. I don't know if you've seen them already, but bro, what are you feeling, bro? What are you feeling?
Anyone begging for Tuchel to come back needs to stop crying into their fucking pillows. Like, let's be real with Chelsea. How many times we sack managers? Like, Tuchel leaving hurt, but anyone who's crying about Tuchel, in my opinion, just proved you've only been supporting the club for about 10 years. I've seen Jose get sacked twice. The first time was the most heartbreaking one because it just came out of nowhere. Some random group stage draw against Rosenborg. Same thing like the way Tuchel got sacked, just out of nowhere. Mourinho the second time. Not Conte, but him as well. Ancelotti literally in the tunnel. Di Matteo 5 months after winning a Champions League. Why are people not surprised? Like, I get it. Which we're Chelsea, and I didn't agree with the way Tuchel got sacked. I thought he should have had way more time. But guess what? He's gone. And we have a good manager. I'm sure everybody who's criticizing Potter, in my opinion, would have picked Potter as one of their replacements if Tuchel had left. It's just the fact Tuchel's gone. And also, there's no immediate results, like when Tuchel joined. Tuchel joined and dropped the Champions League on everyone's head in 4 months. Beats Liverpool, beat Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, City 3 times, and they're expecting that sort of turnover. The team's way worse than that. And you're not going to see that turnaround. Even under Tuchel, like, are we going to pretend we were good? Like, the last few weeks, we weren't an absolute pain to watch. I don't know why people think Tuchel would get anything more out of this. We even said towards the end of last season our form wasn't good enough. We were playing like crap. So it's obviously the personnel that's the problem. Put all your anger and your frustration towards the players. I don't know why people are blaming the manager. It's the same energy as Tuchel. He needs time to bed his squad in before I even start looking at whether he's the right manager for us or not. And that needs to be the same energy with Potter. Things are going to get bad before it gets... Things going to get way worse before it gets better. This season, I already said weeks ago, is a write-off. We're going to City tomorrow. We're going to get pammed. We're going to Newcastle on Saturday. We're going to get pammed even harder. It is what it is. This season's a write-off. It's not Potter's fault. Our players are shit. We don't trust any of our goalkeepers. Our defense hasn't got an understanding of each other yet. Our midfield gets absolutely torn apart on transition and can't create anything. Our 10s can't create, and our strikers don't have any service. So what do they expect Potter to do? Go win the Champions League? Come on. So I think anyone going after Tuchel, you're a fucking idiot. Simple as.
Mm. Big up to Anthony Ethiopia says, Said, what colour is London? Keep the energy of Premsy. Obviously, London is red at the minute. But listen, I'm going to bring you, Patrick, in. You know what I mean? Someone said about 2015-16 season for Chelsea, you know what I mean, in terms of how it kind of collapsed. You know, this Chelsea team, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I looked at this team and I look at the players, and I think Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you know what I mean? I used to be watching their team and they'd have Fabregas, you know what I mean? Some proper like midfielders in there. You know what I mean? Ivanovic, Warriors, you know what I mean? Right now, they're a bit of a soft team at the minute. And I think a lot of players do need criticism. The manager can only do a lot, but the players, man, they need to step up, man. But when you're looking from a Tottenham point of view, what do you see the problems at Chelsea?
There's a lot there. There's an identity crisis. There's a lot of players that aren't really good enough, but obviously they've been thrown into the basically your Gallagher's. He looked good at Crystal Palace, but is he really good enough to be playing week in and week out at a top 4/Champions League club? The answer's no. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, tidy on the ball. You know, he looks good in terms of on the eye test, but realistically, what does he do? He's not a great DM. He's not a 6. He's not creative. He's just another guy that he's a squad player, but he's getting a lot of minutes. Cucurella, someone that they paid a lot of money for, is flattered to deceive. So far, he's looked absolutely shit in the Chelsea shirt. There's just a lot of players that... The thing is, it's a crazy one because like everything that Lewis said is spot on and makes sense, but they spent a lot of money on that squad, man. It's not like Potter's inherited a bunch of bums. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know, and I hear what you're saying, but also at the same time, you have to admit you spent a lot of money on these players. Like all these players come in, basically either they've come in with a big price tag or they've come in like your Koulibalys, your Cucurellas, your fullback Chilwell. These guys are all come in big price tags, playing well for other teams, and obviously they're meant to step up for Chelsea. So it's a bit of a weird one. It is a mismatched squad. It's a lot of different managers, players, and obviously Potter's inherited that. Potter is a good manager, and he is somebody who does coach and develop players, so he's going to have to get the best out of what's there. I look at the Chelsea team, I don't know what to think, because they still on their day can beat anyone, but also at the same time, they are struggling. And it's a bit of a funny one, because Tottenham, we get labelled as a boring team and this and that, but this Chelsea team, fuck me, they're even worse. They are fucking boring. Do you know what I mean? There's no spark. There's no creativity.
Because
there's talent there. I mean, like when you look at, I say talent with inverted commas, because you look at Ziyech, you look at players like Kai Havertz, you look at players like Mason Mount, who are meant to be talented, creative players, but I'm not really seeing it, if I'm being honest. So it is a really strange one, because on their day, if these guys step up, they can beat anyone. But also, I do see a team that is struggling. They don't really have an identity.
You just said it right there. You just said it right there on their day, and this is the problem. None of them are consistent at all. And you mentioned all of these players and everything. Like, if we talk about rebuilds, when Klopp joined Liverpool, he changed the entire squad, and that Champions League winning team was a completely different 11, except for 1 or 2 players. Who else? Arteta, for example. That's not the same team that he walked into Arsenal with. Basically, everyone got brought in over the space of 2 to 3 years. I'm not asking Potter to do miracles with this squad. I'm asking him to sell 90% of them and start again, because they're not good enough.
Do you not think that's a bit crazy though? Because when Usman won the Champions League and that, all the Chelsea fans were giving it, we're going for the Premier League next season. We need no. We need Lukaku. We need not Lukaku. We need a striker. We get that striker and we're winning the Premier League. How can it now be that 90% of them are dead food? You get me? I understand that I understand the manager needs to come in, implement his style of play. Players need to be able to fit that style of play and also live up to what he wants. You get me? However, how can it be 90% of them from a year or 2 ago are just absolutely dead food when you got players like Havertz that are still young in the team, Mount that's young that people are raving about? Why is it flipped on his head like that?
Havertz is one of the most overrated players in the Premier League. And when we won the Champions League, we won it based off a very strong defensive structure and 2 great midfielders. Both of those are now in a decline. The defense, we've lost 2 out of the 3 for free.
I'm hearing Thiago Silva's the best centre-back in the league from Chelsea fans.
He is, and he's been surrounded by shit for the last year. His performances always stand out around dog shit next to him, even in the game on Sunday. Silva was one of the only good players in that game.
But
Christensen, Rudiger.
why have they gone so shit though? Like, why have they gone? Because a big part of that team, a big part of that team, because obviously it's not just the defense that makes a team. I agree, it's a vital part, but you're saying 90% of that team needs to go. You get me? Why has it changed so fast?
Because I only really rate Thiago Silva, Reece James, right now Trevor Chalobah, and Kovacic. I'll give the new signings their first season. I always do that. And everybody else, if a bid came in, bye. I'd get rid of them all.
Even Mason Mount.
Mason Mount hasn't been good enough for a while. And last season, he managed to save it with GNA. But like his decision making, his ability to have impact in games is very, very inconsistent. The only reason why I don't say as much is because like he's obviously still going to re-sign as soon as he hits a vein of form. So
yeah,
like,
of course.
But then the likes of Ziyech, Havertz, I don't have patience for. I just get rid immediately.
Pulisic, not good enough for.
Pulisic doesn't get given a fair chance, so I can't speak too much about him. Mount and Havertz are literally in every single lineup. Pulisic gets 15-20 minutes at the end of each game.
Reece James,
I've been screaming for him to get starts. Yeah, James stays. Give him everything he wants. He's one of our only good players.
Look at the super chat here. Chelsea never replaced. Big up to YUFC, by the way. Chelsea never replaced Fabregas, William, Pedro, Diego Costa, Hazard properly. Chelsea was carried about Kante and Tuchel, to be honest. Obviously, you're gonna have to replace Kante. There's a lot of in there that you've got to remember that Chelsea have to replace. The Cucurella one, I can't lie to you, man. He's been a flop this season. And for me,
I think Cucurella's been all right.
Did you see that goal on Sunday, fam? What was he playing?
That was some stupidness. But I'll be real. The first half,
men against boys. That's
but the first half, like he was left so isolated by the rest of the squad, and I thought he did the best he could next to Saka. And he has been poor the last few games, but he has had tonsillitis and hasn't been allowed to have proper rest because of our defensive injuries. Obviously, had an impact on
Femsy's laughing.
Man said tonsillitis, I thought he was going to say a broken leg or something, you know what I mean?
No, not a broken leg, but like, you get tonsillitis, you lose a couple pounds of weight, it's going to have an impact on your performance. Before that, he was really good. I don't think Cucurella's
the guy said lose a couple pounds of weight, nah.
I don't think Cucurella's been bad this season. But I just think it's the price tag. It's 62 million, and that's where everyone's looking.
It's a lot.
I know it's a lot, but as a player, I don't think he's been that bad this season. I think he's been decent.
What's your thoughts on Potter playing Sterling as a wing back?
Yeah, that's a mad
one. I think it's a bit false, to be honest, because everyone said they were doing that at Brighton, but you check his average positions, he was basically a left wing. Now, the fact is, just Sterling hasn't been good enough. I get it's a different system that he has to adapt to. He's being asked to pick up the ball a lot deeper, and he's being asked to play a completely different role to what he did at Man City. But he's barely even taking players on. Like, the bare minimum isn't working. His touch in the box isn't good enough. The finishing is just kind of just the same from Sterling. You're always just going to get iffy finishes every now and then. But when the form isn't as good, you can't really look past that sort of stuff. And since Potter's come in, he hasn't been playing well enough. He came to Chelsea because he wanted to be the main man, and he's not showing that consistency. But that's more on him personally.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Obama what? Obama who, fam? You get me? I told you his money is going to be doing up bench.
No, I'm not.
I told you his money was going to be doing up bench. You get me?
You know
he said he would start. He did start.
Do you want to know why I'm not hearing this? Because if Kai Havertz could make a very simple cutback in the first 15 minutes, he probably scores. It's 1-0, and people look at his performance completely.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, fam. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. You get me? Dream on, fam. You get me? That guy there was secretly kissing his Arsenal tattoo. Yeah,
bro. No. Do you want to know why our strikers die? Lukaku, Werner when we played him up front. Now Aubameyang. It's because the service is terrible. It's just non-existent.
You know what?
Aubameyang was non-existent, but nobody fed him.
I'm surprised about Mason Mount because I actually thought Mason Mount was going to be a very phenomenal player, to be fair. And over the recent times, he has fell off a little bit. So I'm surprised, man.
But the fan base overhype him like mad. People comparing him to the likes of Lampard and Modric. Just leave it and let him grow. Like, this is the
He's a-
problem. We
yeah.
overhype Mount to that level, and then when he plays like this, everyone's like, who the hell is he? Who have you been hyping? Just let the
Yeah.
guy grow. Like, I do believe there can be a player in there somewhere. Just stop
Look,
comparing him to the likes of Lampard, for fuck's sake.
There's a lot
You're
to
gonna
sort
get
out.
that though, innit? You are gonna get that though, innit? Sorry, Saeed.
I'm saying there's a
Yeah,
lot to
okay.
sort out at Chelsea. You look at the keeper situation. I don't think, for me personally, Mendy, I'm not gonna lie to you, he's a good shot stopper. But I don't know if it's Mendy or Kepa. That's another situation you got to sort out. The right back situation, Reece James, you need a backup for that one. Centre back situation, you probably will get Gavial. Is it Gavial? You got Thiago
Maybe.
Silva. For me, he'd probably go. You got Koulibaly again. Is he coming back from injury, or is he liked by Potter, or is he coming back from injury?
He was benched for the last game. But
There you go. We'll find out.
Koulibaly's been good this season.
Koulibaly. Then you've got my man Trevor Chalobah, again a young player. We'll see what he's about. Left back Cucurella. Obviously, you bought him, so you can't really replace him. You do need a Chilwell again. I'm not saying he's injury prone, but I'm not saying he's injury prone, but I'm starting.
No, that's on Potter. He was literally
Okay.
training on a bandage the day before Zagreb. The most pointless game of the season. We're already group winners, and you play Chilwell for a full 90, and he pulled up in the 90th minute. Potter's an idiot for that.
Okay, midfield options. Kante probably going to leave. Not going to give him his contract. Jorginho. Probably Chelsea fans are like, you know what? Oh yeah, Fofana, miss Fofana. He needs to come back, and he's been injured.
Yeah.
Looking at Gallagher, I don't think he's good enough for me for Chelsea. Like,
I think he's been better than Mount this season. I'll be real.
Okay, but I'm just looking at Chelsea of what I grew up on.
Fair
Gallagher is not the one for me. Ziyech, not good enough. Pulisic, for me, not good enough. Sterling obviously has come back into the team. Aubameyang arguably is not a long-term project. But
Just say it as it is, fam. Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Nah, give him service.
Others, we've seen it before. Loftus-Cheek, not good enough.
Get rid.
Yo, Patrick, there's a lot to sort out at Chelsea, you know. There's a lot.
Which is why we're in a rebuild. It's stage one. You've got to get rid of the deadwood first. And we've just got to that stage at the worst point of the season, literally in September. So we just got to hold it.
It's mad calling them deadwood, though, because that's a lot of talent there. Like, not being funny. Like, if you look at Kai Havertz and a Ziyech, if they go to another team, I guarantee you they ball out. It's weird. I don't know what it is at Chelsea.
He isn't talented.
Havertz is talented. Come on, he is. He's a good player.
He's only going to be good in the Bundesliga in a social distancing league. That's all.
I think Havertz is a good player.
Why do you think his only good games for us this season was against Zagreb and Salzburg, two teams who can't spell defense?
Yeah.
He ain't good enough.
YFC is asking you, Lewis, let me ask you who is in the right kid. Let me ask you this. Who is in the right kid replaces Lukaku and Werner with a finish Aubameyang and Sterling? Stability can ruin a football club. I think
people are judging Aubameyang way too early. We don't feed him enough. The only poor game he's had is Salzburg. He should have bagged at least 2 in that game. Other than that, he gets minimal service. There's not much he can do. Sterling, we're playing him in a completely different position. We know he's a quality player. He literally carried this attack through the last few weeks of Tuchel, while Mount and Havertz were doing up 007 with 0 goals and 0 assists. So let's not jump to conclusions with these two.
Let me back the Chelsea fans for a little minute as well, yeah. I think Lewis is just saying that because he doesn't want to accept he took an Arsenal reject at his club. You get me, bro?
No, bro.
I'm telling you now. Because the back end of Aubameyang's career at Arsenal, he was getting service and he wasn't bagging.
I would have taken Ronaldo. I just wanted a goal scorer. Literally just wanted a goal scorer.
But then you would have had probably the same problem in terms of service as well, because again,
Ronaldo needs
he's
service.
probably worse than Aubameyang.
Ronaldo's not going to move. Yeah,
I hear that because everyone was like to me, Havertz is creative, so I'm like, cool, play a striker and play him further back. But no, you can't even do that.
And Cuckoo is going to be a big signing for Chelsea. But again, I just think, midfield options, again, replacing Kante, replacing Jorginho. Kovacic here is becoming a bit unreliable now because he's getting injured all the time. So he's a good player, but someone asked me the question yesterday, would you take Kovacic at Man United? I said no, because I seem to think every time right now it's not available. And it
Yeah.
is part your best ability is availability. That's what they say.
Yeah, availability
what
is your
they
best
say.
ability. Yeah, and if you're
You know
always,
what I mean?
and you know
Let's
what,
be real.
it's funny because like Thomas Partey fell under that category this season. Don't get me wrong, he's been really good and he's been available. But Partey was that same kind of guy, looked good, and then he was injured. Looked good, then got injured. But now Partey's obviously had a good run and he's looking good and he's playing and he's available. So, yeah, man. Kovacic is a quality player, but again, he's always out. Chilwell, same thing. Reece James is even, unfortunately, he's quite injury prone as well. For someone who's so young and talented, he seems to always be, in and out of the team. So it's a weird one because Chelsea, I know Lewis is saying there's a lot of bums there. Don't get me wrong, he watches them week in and week out. We don't, but there's a lot of talent there, man. I don't know. Potter is a good manager. He will need time. It's going to be interesting to see how long it takes. No, he doesn't. And sometimes I look at him when I look at him on the sideline, it looks like he's like a sixth form teacher. He's happy to be there, but he doesn't look like
he is, just off his interviews and everything. He just sounds like he's just happy to be there. He's a little bit clueless getting into everything.
Looks like a bit like Moisey. Remember Moisey?
Yeah.
Bro.
He looks giddy. He looks happy to be there. And you need that aura. You need that air about you. Do you know what I mean? Like even that whole thing about him saying, Mason Mount, he just needs a bit of games. He needs rhythm. I was like, you're the fucking manager. You tell him, no, you're not playing today. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a bit mad.
When the manager says the wrong thing in the press conference, Tuchel always made me feel confident in his press conference. Even Lampard was the master of the press conference. I would never, even in the worst form, I'd come out and think, all right, cool, we got a game. Like, Said, I'm sure you had it with Ollie as well. It just constantly said the wrong things. And I'm not saying that to judge Potter. I still think he can do something with us, but there's too much like saying the boys gave everything when I've just watched them against 90 minutes get bopped off the park by Arsenal in our own backyard. And you want to tell me that they gave everything. And then we're going to say Mason Mount needs a run of games to have rhythm. It sounds like the same bollocks Willian said 5 years ago. And I never wanted him to start every game either. Like, just pick the best players. Stop getting judged over other players' influence and stuff. Like, I don't understand it. But
you know, Premsy with Arteta, like he actually done his thing and said, you know what, Alba, you're not in my team. He started to kind of be a bit ruthless about certain players, innit? Do you reckon? Or Potter, like I said, I think Potter's a great manager. We see that at Brighton. Nobody can say tactically and whatnot, but I feel like that's only one part of the game. You've got to manage your team, manage players, know what they want. Apparently, we're hearing. I watched your stream before, Lewis, and I looked up it. Players a bit kind of. They're not happy with the certain tactics and whatnot, certain ideas. And I'm looking at it, Premsy. Do you reckon if a little doubt gets into these players, they'll do what they always do, these Chelsea players, and they always win? And Lewis will back me up on that. These players always win.
Do you know what it is, Saeed? You got to look at the dressing room and see who in that dressing room actually respects Graham Potter and who's willing to give him that chance for him to shine at Chelsea, because respect is a big thing in football, believe me. If you don't respect your manager, or in your heart of hearts, you don't think he's going to get you where you're going to need to get to, you can start falling off form. You can start having a bit of a bad attitude. You can start slacking. I think with Chelsea fans, they just need to take time a little bit, because Graham Potter is a good manager. We've seen what he's done at Brighton, and he hasn't got any of his own players in, really. You get me? Tuchel signed most of them players before Potter landed there, and he's had to try to come and rejig the squad. I understand what Lewis is saying, play your best 11, but maybe he's just trying to figure out his best 11 right now. You get me?
Oh, yeah.
After a few windows, then you can probably look at Graham Potter and judge him. You get me? But whether Chelsea would give him that few windows, that's another question, because Chelsea historically have been a sacking club. But I feel like Chelsea are going in a bit of a different direction where they are going to have to rebuild, because when you bring in a manager that's not brought no players in, it is a rebuild job. So it's going to be a bit sticky for Chelsea for a little bit. But if I was a Chelsea fan, like Lewis said, if Tuchel went out, Potter would be one of the first names on the list that I'll be trying to bring in. Maybe he needs to adapt himself a little bit towards how he manages at a bigger club. But that's something for him to learn. And maybe it can come with a little bit of time. Look at Mikel Arteta. No experience before. Had a lot of people doubting, myself included. And right about now, bro, we've not been knocked off the top spot all season. You get me? It shows some character.
No,
you laugh, fam.
Man City
by the end of the week, innit? You get me? But when all the games are done, we're back on top, innit? That's all I'm saying with that.
Allow it.
Nah, use man, allow it. You get me? I'm the only one in here who's one. You get me? So no wonder you're all sitting there looking sad. You know, I could get used to this, man. I could get used to
Chelsea
this.
let it down, man. I thought Chelsea.
Patrick,
Yeah, I know.
use man out
Chelsea let it down.
absolutely washed in the first half.
I know they let me down too. Don't worry.
Yeah, man. But yeah,
Fems, I'll get onto my team in a bit. Don't worry. You're
we will, man. We will get onto it, man. Definitely. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Over 400 of you in the chat. I don't know how many likes we're on right now, but please smash the like on the video. Big up to the man. Make sure you follow all their channels. Link is in the description. You know what? Patrick, man, you got to look over your shoulder, man. With Newcastle are starting to threat the best of the rest, gang.
Look over our shoulder. They're above us right now. They're 1 point above us, bro.
Yeah, we're above us, man.
No, we're 7th. So we're behind everyone, bro.
And you got them next, you know. You got them next.
We're getting pammed, bro. I don't even know if I'm going.
Days. You know what, man? They're a problem, you know. I know, listen, Arteta and Arsenal doing well, but for the rest of us, they're a problem, man, you know.
This is what we like to hear, man, because that means we're moving in the right direction.
Bro. Yeah, no, I think they're a problem. They're a problem for everyone. You know, like at this early stage of the season, there's always a team that obviously exceed expectations, and I thought maybe that's Newcastle, but then I looked at it, and to be fair, since Eddie Howe's come in, they were top 4 team last year in terms of the points he accumulated in his tenure. So they seem to be the real deal. I don't think they're going to finish in the top 4. I don't think they're finishing the top 6, if I'm being honest with you, but they are a legitimate problem. They can take team points off anyone. And if they strengthen and get a few players in January, then fuck me, they legit could be a problem for all of us. They can beat anyone. They beat us. Who else did they beat in the top 4, top 6? Yeah, so they've taken points off 2 of the top 6, legitimate top 6 teams. And Eddie Howe's got them playing football, man. And look at players like Almiron, who we all wrote off and thought was absolute garbage. He's looking good now. He's taking his play. It just goes to show what confidence can do to a player. Because when I look at Almiron, I don't think he's a great player. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like, oh my God, this guy's sick. But it just shows with confidence and a bit of form what you can do. Do you know what I mean? This guy's now looking to take his man on. He's finishing. He's taking shots that he would have never taken before. And then they do have quality in that team. Botman's a good player. Trippier, we all know what he can do. Gomes is a talented player. Wilson on his day is a good striker. So they've got a good unit, and to be fair, their recruitment is spot on. Yeah, Linton is good as well, and that's Eddie Howe moving him. He didn't fit as a striker. Eddie Howe looking at him and saying, you know what, you can work in the midfield. That's something that none of us would have predicted, and it's working. And it just goes to show that, and this is where, for Potter's got to be given the time, because Potter, in my opinion, can do what Eddie Howe's doing, but I just don't know if the Chelsea faithful will give him that time. If Newcastle beat Chelsea, and then they lose their next game, whoever that is, I can see it turning quite toxic. I don't think the Chelsea fans have that patience in them because they've always had success. They've always had results. So it's going to be hard for them to go through.
Have they got the patience for this? You're a big Conte fan, but I feel like there's some sort of feeling within the Tottenham fan base.
It's a mixed bag, you know. Even in the stadium, there's people I sit next to, and some of them are Conte-yen, some of them are on the fence, some of them don't like him. It's a mixed bag. I have to be honest. I love Conte. I love what he's done. The thing is, it's really weird because we're literally a team of 2 halves. First half again, we were fucking. Yeah. You know what? No, that's a bit of a lie. I don't think we were that bad. I think it was 2 bad moments. The Eric Dyer moment was absolutely abysmal, and I've backed Eric Dyer to the hills, and I can't back him no more. That header back, whatever he was trying to do, was absolutely diabolical. Excuse the pun. He literally assisted. He gift wrapped the goal to Salah. Salah's one of the most clinical strikers in the world. You can't give him the ball on a plate like that. He's going to finish 9 times out of 10. And at 1-0, we were in that game, 2-0 down at halftime away. Well, playing Liverpool, regardless of how shit they've been and what their form is, they're a good team, innit? If you did give yourself a mountain to climb, it's going to be hard to get back in it. Second half, don't get me wrong, I thought we were fantastic. We literally fought to the end. We gave it our all, but we just couldn't get across the line. But it shouldn't have to keep happening where we go a whole 45 minutes without playing. Because you can do that against Marseille and possibly get away with it. You can do that against Bournemouth and possibly get away with it. But against a good team like Liverpool, regardless of their form, Liverpool are our top team. It was too much to come back into the game, and we were unlucky. On another day, we possibly get a penalty. On another day, Perisic hit the crossbar, we hit the post. We created a lot of good moments in the second half, but the first half, questions need to be asked.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too much too late. But to be fair, we
you're
absolutely
killing yourself
battered them
off in that first half.
I know.
Trust me.
That's it. It's crazy, and you know what? It goes back to Conte. He needs to take some responsibility. As much as I love Conte, he's not without fault. You keep playing a bum in Emerson Royale. I don't know what you're thinking playing that guy on the right, and week in, week out. Like you've got Jed Spence. I don't understand how the guy can't get a run out. Doherty always looks much better when he's there. I would even put Tanganga at fucking right wing back ahead of Emerson Royale. That's how bad he is. So you keep playing this guy. The guy's so shit. He keeps making mistakes after mistake. He gets the ball. He doesn't want to beat his man. When he does beat his man, he fucking whips across into row Z. The guy just can't. Every time the ball comes onto his side, the attack breaks down because he's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? So there's that. And then also you're consistent. Like Eric Dyer has been really bad and he should be dropped. But again, you keep playing him, and the guy just keeps making mistake after mistake. The thing is, Eric Dyer was actually quite decent in that second half, though, even though his mistake was so bad in the first half. But when I watched the game again, and I watched it just like with a clear head, I thought Eric Dyer was really good in the second half. He was literally playing like a utility winger, and he was getting crosses in. He was taking on his man, but I just can't forgive him for that stupid error in the first half. And like I said, against a team like Liverpool, you're 2-0 down. It's going to be fucking difficult to get back in the game. And I don't know. Something needs to happen because we can't keep going. We're literally playing 45 minutes worth of football, and at this level,
that's not enough, man.
Yeah,
this is why for me
it's not enough.
This is why for me teams are going to capitalize.
The new Burnley.
But Burnley are playing good football, under Company, not the same, man. Burnley play good football under Company. They're the new.
What are you trying to say? I
don't really get that.
Football and these.
If I think like fossil football, Spurs are we actually play when we play good football. Like people need to stop chatting shit basically because that's just silly, isn't it?
It's
when
one
we
of them,
we play good football, but I understand that
you need to take your boo lucky Nas to the game, fam.
But
I don't know what you're watching.
I'm watching the games, man.
In the words of expressions, 8-1-1, fam. 8-1-1, yeah.
No, that's not.
That formation was wild, man.
Yeah, but then also as well, let's be real as well. Sorry, just to finish. Let's be real as well. We've had key injuries in key areas, as in our attack. As soon as Kulu came on, you saw the difference that guy made. He was literally taking on his man, beating a guy, getting across, and he's a creative player. We've not had Richarlison, we've not had Kulu, we didn't have Son. So I understand that Perisic was essentially playing as a support striker. It didn't work whatsoever. When you put Perisic back on the left-hand side, you saw the difference he was making. But his hand has been forced with injuries, but also at the same time, Conte needs to let the shackles off and stop being so defensive and let the guys go and express themselves.
Listen, man. Premsy, man, you know what it is, it's one of them, man. They're gonna have to suffer, under Conte because, and it's whoever's gonna break, like I'm genuinely watching out for Tottenham fans at the minute because I feel like they're gonna break soon. And when it comes,
it's not that bad. Come on, it's not that bad.
No, I'm not saying it's that bad, yeah. But I feel like now in football, people just don't have patience. Like if I'm a Tottenham fan, I know what I'm getting, but I feel like Tottenham fans are wanting more than they know they're gonna get. So it's like I just feel like right now, sooner or later, people are gonna break. That's what I think, Premsy. But what do you think at a minute? Should Tottenham fans be grateful that they've got a manager like Conte? Should they be bothered? They should be
grateful.
Yeah.
Because do you know why they should be grateful? Because they haven't warranted anything to deserve a manager like Conte. Really, to be fair, they paid him though. He's come in. He thought he can turn it around. At the moment, you can't say Tottenham are absolutely dead because they are grinding out results, but it's just that first half that's killing them. That first half, every single game I watch, they're just getting absolutely annihilated, bro. They were 2-0 down to Bournemouth. You get me? The second half, they've only come out and recovered. I feel like with Tottenham fans, they are going to be patient with Conte because they feel they're counting the blessings they've got him. You get me? Yeah. If you look at it with a realistic head and obviously putting all banter aside, he's still got to have a few windows to bring his own players in, you get me, to then fulfill his full style of play. But the one thing we know about Conte, he is a defensive style manager, so it's something that Tottenham fans have to get used to. And when we're talking about good football right about now, Patrick, oh my days, I don't know what you mean about good football. You get me? I'm telling you now, it's looking
No,
dry.
I
It's
think
looking
I
dry.
think like if you take off, obviously you're an Arsenal fan, so you're never really going to give us our just thing. But if you actually
No, I
look at
would.
it, there's no way.
Kulizeski came on and he looked good. I'll give you that.
So
But
that second half, Liverpool are a good team, right? That second half, we blew them out the water. We were playing good football. We were breaking their lines. We were getting crosses in. We were taking on a
Liverpool
man.
have been dead all season, fam.
Yeah, but they're still a good team. Though. Come
They
on,
always
they're
gift
still a good
Liverpool,
team.
man. You know that Tottenham are always
I
gifting Liverpool.
Yeah, I think, obviously, yes, I understand. Yeah, sometimes the football is very pragmatic. It's quite slow side to side, very boring. We pass back to the keeper, takes ages to build up. But to say that we play fossil football and we're so, but it's a bit of a, but I do get it. I understand it's a bit of banter and this and that. But like I said, we scored. Well, I don't even know the stats anymore because, fuck me, Newcastle have come and blown everyone out the water. But we'd scored a lot of goals. We're still fourth right now. I think we still finish fourth regardless of what happens going into the World Cup because Man United lost, which I never saw coming to Aston Villa.
Listen, man,
So,
talk
again,
to me, man.
Yeah.
Good evening, Sam.
Good evening.
Did you
man.
really,
You know
Prems?
what
Did
it
you
is?
really
I knew it
though?
was
Did
gonna
you really,
happen, man.
Prems? Or
Do you know why I
really?
thought?
Fuck,
Yeah,
I
honestly,
didn't.
because you know what? Yeah, when the new manager turns up in town, yeah, normally that team gets a new manager bounce. Now, Unai Emery, he ain't a joke of a manager. You got to remember when he joined Arsenal, he went on a 22-game unbeaten run. You get me? And that was right from the get-go. So he knows the league. He's been practicing his English as well. So now he can communicate better with his players as well. Now, big man thing, I'm not even lying. You get me? He's been studying. You get me? Now, my man done his first interview. What did he say? What did he say? Good afternoon. You get me? He didn't even say good evening. Good afternoon. He's been learning. You get me? But you know what? But, this is what I said with United, yeah? United, you have seen a progression under Ten Hag, and you can see that he's clearly coaching these players a style of football to play. However, there's going to be big bumps in the road for United because, like I said, the start of the season, for me, they needed about 10 new players. And for me, it hasn't really changed. You get me? They still need a lot of new players in that team. So
yeah, we do.
They are going to get these moments.
Deadwood, man. There's a lot of Deadwood, man. I'm telling you.
3-1, I didn't see coming. You get me? I didn't see that coming.
I didn't.
Yeah, that was a bit mad.
I could see United getting beat 100.
I think for me, it was the ultimate manager bounce. I have to look at this performance and this game in isolation because Unai Emery came in and every single player played above their XG. They played above their kind of capacity because they were impressing the manager. Like they did what they had to do. And sooner or later, the come down, we'll start to see a bit of struggle. But for now, every single player was fighting for his spot to tell them, I'm ready, manager.
Could we call it Ten Hag's new manager bounce period's over? Or what, Said?
Listen, I don't think we had one though. We never had one though, to be fair, because we lost the first 2 games. So
but he's looked good, man. He's looked good though.
Yeah, we were like unbeaten for 6 games, even if we look like shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. 6 games unbeaten hype, man, Lewis. It wasn't great, man. It was
hype, yeah.
A couple of Champions League games, you know what I mean?
We've got nothing, bro. Let us just have that at least.
Yeah.
We're in the fucking trenches, bro.
You know what, man? You get me, like, Ten Hag hasn't rotated well, I'll be honest with you. But at the same time, we should have beaten Villa. Villa was 17th, man. And it just shows you the beauty of the Premier League that, you know what? Anyone can beat anyone. It's competitive.
100%.
And Aston Villa deserved to win. Like from a greater standpoint, just like by not looking at Man United, I'm thinking, you know what? It is the beauty of the Premier League because you can't take your eye off the game. You can't slack, man. You can't, man. Because Newcastle are around the corner. And every game now, I thought Liverpool, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought we can make a gap. If Tottenham beat Liverpool, I was like, right, make a gap. Chelsea, 5-point gap. You know how big that is? A 5-point gap. Going into the game against Newcastle, they've got next week. Bro, we missed the opportunity, man. That's why I'm a bit pissed off, you know. But it is what it is, man. What can you do? You know what I mean? This is what happens in the game. So, you know what I mean? We got Fulham away, and I'm not confident with that one.
They've got a few players out. No. They've got a few players out. I think they got that Ream out. They've got one of their, I can't remember his name.
Paulinho,
No.
Paulinho's out.
No, not Paulinho. What's the guy's name? Now it's going to piss me off now. But anyway, if anyone in the chat knows, let me know which is the guy that's out. But they've got 3 of the key players out. Mitrovic is probably out as well. So
looks like he's out. Yeah, that'll be a big news. I'm gonna go check now if he's actually out. Any news?
You know what? Let me show you now. I'm gonna get this up now because it's gonna rattle my brains. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it Tete? Have they got a Tete in the team or something like that?
They might have Tete. Yeah, they might have Tete. They might have Tete. So I don't know, man. He could be back. You don't know. Reed as well. Reed was out.
Reed.
He had a card,
Okay.
didn't he?
He's
Too many
good.
yellows.
He's good.
Yeah. But you know what? I just think for me, it's survival of the fittest. Next week, it's going to be the game, man. Arsenal don't want to like slip up next week on the final week. You got Wolves in it. Wolves might have the manager bounce, yo. Lopetegui. It's a new manager.
They might do, but
I think Arsenal beat them. You know, I think Arsenal in such a good run of form, and they just look good.
Do you know
I think
what?
Arsenal will beat them.
We've been keeping clean sheets after clean sheets away from home, man, and
that's
it's promising, man.
To be fair.
Yo, man, Arsenal, man. I can't lie to you, man. They just look like they're just, bro. You know what it is here? Like they might end up flopping, but if they can get into the January window within touching distance of City, bro, it's any man's game, man. It's anybody's game. Because
you know what?
It'll give City haven't been convincing. Like, you know, City haven't been blowing teams left, right, centre the way that we know City have been. They've just about beat Fulham. They've had 1-0 against Leicester, you know what I mean, grinded it out. Like, come on, man. So
yeah, Tete, but no, 100% Saeed Tete, that's out as well for Fulham. But yeah, man, if we could go into that January window being top of the league, that will give us such an empowerment in the window to then force players' hands to come over, because they're going to be looking at it thinking, right, okay, 14 games gone in the league. They're sitting at the top of the table, quite a chunk away from the rest of, well, the best of the rest, you know what I mean? Quite a chunk away from them. Yeah. Can we add to that squad depth and see if we can help get them over the line? It's a lot more of a promising situation, isn't it, really, if we can stay there. But obviously, we've got one more game. If we could do that, bro, I'll be absolutely buzzing. I'm not even going to lie.
Fems, what did you think of Arteta's comment? He come out and said that you guys are definitely title challengers now. What are you thinking about that?
I think he's trying to give the boys the belief, because unless you start believing, you get me, it's never going to happen, innit, really, when you deep it. Like, personally, I'm a guy of law of attraction. You get me? I believe in it. And, you know what I mean? You start putting them vibes out in the dressing room. You start slowly letting players come to terms with it. Give them extra motivation. Why not, bro? People are in the chat and whatnot saying Arsenal getting to you guys. Why shouldn't we be happy, really? Because it's not like we've been scraping games. We've been looking the best team in pretty much every game that we've played this season. You know what I mean? We beat a lot of the big teams as well. We beat 3 out of the big 6 teams so far. Why can we not believe William Saliba coming into this team is an absolute revelation, bro? I'm telling you now, I don't think there's a centre-back better than him in the league right about now. The way he can recover the ball, this calmness on the ball, his aerial ability, the guy's just an absolute phenomenon. And we haven't had a centre-back like that for a number of years, where Arsenal fans can actually be in the stadium and not have squeaky bum time when it comes to the last 10 minutes, because you got belief. Ben White also, I got to give him some praise as well. My man moved in from centre back to right back, and he's doing an absolute job. You're not seeing nutmeg Mason Mount. You get me, bro? Like, he's even doing things like that now, which we didn't expect him to do. No, but you know what I'm saying, innit? Ben White, centre back,
White is the best,
going to right back,
most improved player in the Premier League. Most improved.
Lewis absolutely hates Chelsea right now, innit? I'm surprised that scarf's still up, fam.
Talk about Ben White, though. Talk about Ben White.
No, Ben White, man, he's unbelievable, man. The guy offers us a lot of different options as well, because as people know, he can actually play centre defensive midfield as well. So we were literally on our ass and we had nobody to fill that position. He could drop into that position. But ultimately, again, we have an injury to Saliba or Gabriel. He can slot straight into centre back. Tomiyasu could come in at right back. We've now got a lot of options in the defensive section, which we haven't had for a long time. There's a lot of rotation. Bro, when would you think you'd see Kieran Tierney doing up bench, bro, at Arsenal? Because for me, he's one of my favourite players at Arsenal, you get me? And it's mad, bro. It's mad what's going on right now. I don't think anybody could have thought Arsenal were going to be there this season, myself included. And whilst we're there, bro, man is just lapping in it. And now Ben White as well, he's not only good defensively, he's very decisive in the final third as well. He's making them overlap runs. He's getting the ball. He's getting assists. We can't ask for nothing more than him. And if he isn't on that plane for England, bro, it's an absolute fucking joke.
Yeah, you've got to take him just because of his versatility. His versatility that you need in this game. He can play, like I said, so many different options: centre defensive mid, right back, centre back. You know what I mean? A back three. You know what I mean? So he's very, very versatile. Big up to Hit 44 says Zinchenko said F top 4 champs or nothing. Listen, man, Arsenal are in there. They're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying to you? So go on.
No, I just read the super chat. Made me laugh.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like I said, you know what I mean? For you, Patrick, though, you know what I mean? Like I said, did you think by now they would have been kind of found out, or are you thinking, you know what? I think they still will be in the near future. What's your kind of?
I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping by now they would have dropped more points. I can't lie. Like Chelsea away is always a tough game for most teams. I was hoping that Chelsea would have at least got a point. But if I was being real, just like watching it or going into the game as a football fan, I knew Arsenal would probably win that game, just in terms of the teams where they're at, the feel going into the game. But I was hoping Chelsea would have turned up and obviously beat them, if I'm being honest. But they didn't. I've been hoping that against a lot of the teams, but Arsenal just look good. They're a good team, man. They're actually, I hate to say it, they're actually the real deal. They're genuine contenders. As it stands right now, I know things can change in football quite quickly, but as it stands with their crop of players and everyone there fit, Arteta's getting a tune out of them. Arteta as a manager has really improved as well. Let's be honest, innit? Because everyone, it's like, you know, I was bantering Arteta. I called him the water boy. I've called him, you know, loads of shit. But credit where credit's due. The guy has improved. He's learned from his mistakes. He's made a lot of mistakes. He's learned on the job, but also at the same time, he's a man. He's man enough to admit when he's made a mistake, and he's rectified his mistake. So he's a good manager. He's also improved players as well. His rotate. The only thing for me is that sometimes I still question his rotation. Like he's still at the moment wears players. Like for me, I saw Saka pulled up. I don't see why he had to play Saka again and play him the whole game and stuff like that. So I still question some of his like basically in-game management with certain players, but that's just me if I'm being super critical. But other than that, Arsenal in a really good space. They're playing good football as well. Like Femsy said, I hate to admit it, but I have to agree with him. They've pretty much been the best team in most of the games. I can't really say much other than that, man. They're a good team. They look good. Hopefully things go wrong after the World Cup. Hopefully they lose one or two, and then players start questioning themselves. The manager makes a funny decision, puts someone in when he shouldn't. All of that shit. You know, we're all hoping for a bit of that. Otherwise, they're going down to the wire, and it's going to be crazy because literally everyone else is going to be fighting for third and fourth. As it stands right now, Arsenal and Man City are definitely a cut above everyone else. I know Newcastle are knocking on the door. I'm not going to put them there yet. They're still a young team in terms of their development and where they're at. And I still believe the teams around them are better than them. But if Newcastle continue, then fair enough. But seeing is believing with a team like Newcastle. And until they do it for a bit more of a sustained period, I can't put them in there. But Arsenal right now, I had them in the top 4 before the season started. But I never imagined they would be this good this quickly. I can't lie.
Big up to everybody who's still locked in. Over 600 of you in the chat. Make sure you guys like the video. I don't know if we hit 200 likes. Let's get that to 250, 300. You know what the score is. Like the video, support the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the Mandem. You know, Lewis, in terms of top 4 right now, like if you guys do lose against Newcastle, like how do you feel? Because I'm looking at this Chelsea team and I'm thinking, can they build momentum and go on a 4, 5, 6 game unbeaten run? Like, I don't know. Obviously, certain teams will do that, certain teams won't, and that's the beauty of the Premier League. But yeah, man, like, what do you actually like? Like, is it just trying to make sure you just stay, you know, beat Newcastle next week, or don't get a kind of a mad scoreline against you guys? What's your feeling right now going into the kind of last game?
Try and leave with something if you can, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just get bent over for 90 minutes, really. In terms of top 4, like, it is still very early to completely write Chelsea off, but I just don't know who we would go in top 4 over. Like, Arsenal should be making top 4 as a bare minimum. Tottenham aren't playing well, but they're still getting results, so you can't say too much about them. Newcastle are playing out of this world. United have already built into Ten Hag's philosophy a lot earlier than I thought. Hell, we're only 2 points behind in front of Liverpool, and they've been crap this season. So it's like
Liverpool with their ownership, does that worry you now? The new owners, if they come in, FSG, you know what I mean? If they do spend money in January, is anyone worried about Liverpool with the FSG etc.,
Not
etc.
really.
Until it happens, no, because like it's just a these things are hypothetical, and we see this stuff all the time. Until it happens, nah.
I just want to see all the
likely to,
Liverpool fans
5
do that
billion
180.
that, bro. There's not many people knocking around just to throw 5 billion at a club, you know what I mean? Apart from that oil money. So
Listen,
looks like it's
they're gonna have to
inevitable.
enjoy it. The oil money that they were talking about that they didn't want, you know what I mean? Now
Yeah, let's see their 180. Let's see what they got to say now. I can't wait for it. Now we're the morally correct club and they're the oil club. What a turnaround, man.
This is mad, isn't it? It's mad. But
What
you
a
know what? Big
turn.
up to Noah, by the way. Happy birthday, bro. I appreciate it. Hope
Big
you have
up.
a good day.
Yeah, man.
But you know
Happy
what, man?
birthday.
It got me a bit pissed off, you know, because obviously Arsenal forgot about their owners now. They're winning games. Obviously Tottenham, Tottenham do want
50-50.
ENIC out.
Mm.
Oh, is it 50-50 ENIC and what they're doing? But the
The thing
Glazers,
is-
obviously, you know my
yeah.
feelings in it. You know what I mean? We want them out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
so
say we
it's-
forgot about our owners. I think over the last
Come
two
on, man.
seasons. Now, over the last 2 seasons, you got to give them the fair dues. They put their hand in the pocket and they've spent money in it to improve the squad.
Yeah, I seen Turkish, that video when it went viral, like, we won. Crunky up, say we won Crunky. Like, I could see the venom in his voice. Now it's, you know what I mean? Like, obviously he's still crunky out and whatnot, but like I feel like he is forgotten about like that kind of feeling, and that's why I'm saying Arsenal fans let us down, man, because we had that kind of connection with Super League and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Let
You
us down,
guys
you
let
know.
us down, man, because we both have American owners, and you guys have forgotten about them. Like, obviously they've turned it around. Don't get me wrong, and it's different to the Glazers in a sense.
So I don't want to be in the same line as you right about now. Yo, keep us separate. Keep us separate, man.
Listen, it's still a better club, you know. You still
Nah,
need
we're
to
sitting
realise,
pretty
man.
at the top of the tree, mate. That's all
Yeah,
I
for
know.
now,
You get
man.
me? When you
You know what I mean? You
go,
don't win the league in
you turn
November.
your Christmas lights
November
on. You look at
champions.
your star. Remember,
November
baby.
champions. November, you don't win anything. You know what I mean? In November,
We'll
Prentice,
see in
man.
it. We'll see.
Right, who do
We'll
Arsenal have
see.
next?
We'll see.
Who
Wolves.
you lot got
Hey.
next?
We got Brighton
We-
tomorrow in the Carabao, and then we got Wolves.
Oh yeah, the Carabao, man.
Oh, and Costa's suspended. Fuck's sake. All right.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah,
yes.
he's
He
so
always has a
anyway,
good
he's
game
rubbish.
against us as well. He does.
Yeah, man, I was
Nah,
waiting
man,
for him
he's
to
rubbish.
rock back up to the Emirates, and he got himself a fucking red.
We're away,
typical.
actually. We're away.
Oh, you're
Yo,
oh,
man.
okay, cool. Forget. I can still
Crunky
get
out
my
no matter
Costa
what,
dagger at
mate.
the
If you're
Emirates.
winning and you're
That's
losing,
all I
it's
want, bro.
Glazers
I have
out.
nothing left this season.
Do you believe in this comment though? You don't, Premsy. Even if you're winning though, you still have to have that energy to win it. Like, because we had it when we were winning in 2010. Like, we were still winning, but we still had the Glazers scarf out. So I think that idea, you still
You
have
got
to
to look
be,
at it,
you know.
Sage, yeah. Like, at the end of the day, what do the Arsenal fans want from the Cronkies? The Arsenal fans wanted the Cronkies to put their hand in their pocket, make
Spend.
real improvement, spend, and show signs that they're wanting to do well. You get me?
Yeah.
Because since they come into the club, they have spent money in it. Obviously, all of it being Arsenal's money and not really putting their hand in their pocket, they've just spent it wrong. You get me? Now, a lot of fans are pissed off with the Cronkies because of the people that they've brought on board, the mistakes in the transfer market, not getting contracts tied down, basically the insufficiencies in the club. You get me? Which is not wrong. But when you're doing well and you're sitting pretty at the top of the table, yeah, and they have invested over the last couple years, you can take a little bit of a chill pill in it and say, right, okay, they brought themselves a little bit of time in it. But in the ideal world, I want a sugar daddy in it. That's what I want in it in the ideal world.
And Grizz wants one as well. Look at him. Here comes the money. Money. Grizz Khan, you know, I'm telling you, man. That's why for me, you know what it is, yeah. From a fan point of view, fan, you know what I mean. We don't want to see fans suffering in a sense because obviously ownership is key. You know what I mean to a fan. Having good owners is key, but at the same time, like I was hoping, like we wanted to see the Liverpool that we all knew before in terms of where they were with the Hicks and you know what I mean, like where Liverpool were. So if they get this right and they actually invest in the team, which they need to do as well, right in a minute, because everybody's coming to their end of their careers and sort of like finishing and declining. This is a perfect moment for Liverpool to get a new owner in, re-bolster the squad, re-bolster the area, everything like that. You know what I mean? And get a new training
I can
ground.
only hope the best for Liverpool Football Club.
There you go.
Sarcastic.
There you go.
Oh, no one
You know what I
noticed. No worries.
No, but I'm just saying, I get what you mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
shout out to
listen,
Grizz, by the way. Shout out to Grizz.
yeah, man. Shout out to
Love the
Grizz,
guy,
man. But we'll
Do
see.
you know
who
what?
we
If they
get.
get that money, they're going to be some force to reckon with because they're a massive
it's going to be
institution.
scary. Exactly.
And bro,
It's gonna be
players
scary.
will jump at the chance to join Liverpool, especially if they know they're getting paid properly. Over the years, Liverpool haven't been giving out big wages or anything like that, so it's going to be mad.
Mad.
Someone's asking here, is the Premier League the actual Super League now? I don't know, man.
Pretty much. It's getting
Give it
there.
10 years, we'll all be going
Maybe.
by oil.
It's getting there. Well, actually, saying
You know
that
what it is,
probably
though?
not because the Premier League. So you still got like Brighton can still rock up and beat anyone. You still got a team like. I mean, Newcastle, they have got money, so they're kind of, it goes against what I'm saying. But anyone can beat anyone.
Villa.
So you know, Villa, Fulham can turn up and get a result. Even Southampton, I know they just sat their manager, but Southampton on their day have got some ballers. They can come and play you off the park if you're not careful.
Drew against us.
Yeah, like Prem said, you got to be on your game day in and day out in the Premier League. There's no days off. So it's a bit mad, but no, I don't agree with that yet.
You know what it is? I think the other clubs in Europe are starting to see the force of the Premier League, and they're starting to see that talent in Europe now are choosing the Premier League now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Over La Liga, over the German league, over certain leagues like that. So we'll see it, and I think they're getting jealous and they're getting a bit envy. I'm not trying to put anyone down in the chat, any Real Madrid fans and whatnot, but you know, it's the most exciting league in the world. It's got the most money in the world, so we don't know. I still think the Super League isn't over. I genuinely do. I think there's something around the corner that will make these guys pay up. I really do.
The best managers. You pretty much got the best managers in this league. Cream de la crop are essentially the best players. I know the Liga does have some talent, but if you're looking at it across the board, you pretty much got the best players, best managers, best facilities, best training grounds, best stadiums. Pretty much, the fans I don't know because some of the European fans, when you go to games, they turn up. Yeah, they're crazy. But pretty much.
Do you see Marseille against you in the Champions League? Sorry for cutting you, bro. That was mad scenes, fam.
Yeah,
mad scenes.
I was watching that Thogden. I was watching Thogden's vlog, and bro, it was crazy, man, mental. Yeah, and the last minute winner from Tottenham, you get me, like it was just man. It just shows you the passion. I think you know that kind of stadiums, when the stadium lets you allows you to just be a fan and just be in the stadium. That's what it should be like. I feel like in Premier League grounds, they're trying just enforce a lot of things on you, man. Just let fans do their thing. Like if you give them enough kind of respect and what do you call it, loyalty, they'll give you back and they won't do all the mad stuff. Like, but I feel like we're not allowed bottle caps and that in the stadium. Like,
mad thing.
Flares and that.
Silly.
Like, it's crazy, isn't it?
France and Germany,
bro, they still
alcohol to your seats.
They
still get flares in though. Like even on Sunday when Liverpool scored their first goal, there was flares on the pitch. And how the fuck are these guys getting flares in? It's mad. I don't
down
know
the pants, fam. Down the
pants. Yeah, bro. You don't want to know where the flares been, bro.
Let you know, fair stand, G. Let you know, fair stand.
On that note, we're gonna wrap it up, people. There's still over 600 of you in the chat. Big up to everybody who's been here, locked in, man. We see you guys in the chat. We big up to everyone. We're trying to build this best of the rest show. We try and keep it respectful. We enjoy everybody's opinions, and that's what it's all about, man. Different opinions, banter. Yeah, you know what I mean. It gets heated a few times, but it's all love in it. You feel me? So
some tears as well.
Yeah,
everyone.
Some tears as well.
Yo, I should have handed out the tissues to all of you, man. This week.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. But yeah, listen, we move. We're back, man. Minor setbacks, major comebacks. That's what they're saying, man. But Premzy, big up to you, man. Make sure you go follow Premzy TV. Big up to you for coming on, man.
Yeah, respect my brother. Make sure you subscribe on the channel as well. On Thursday, a show's going to be dropping with Troops as well. So make sure you tune in for the Wolves Wolves preview. But people, man, can't grow the channel without you. You get me? So make sure you hit that subscribe button, yeah? But Saeed, peace and love. The boys, it's always a pleasure to be on this panel with you, man.
Come on. Big up to you, man. Lewis, a pleasure as always, man. Keep your head up, man. It ain't easy out here.
Trust me, bruv. Yeah, guys, Carefree Lewis G, Chelsea Fan TV. You can watch me rage about my club for about an hour or so. Big up. Big up.
Big up, man.
I'm going to be watching, don't worry.
Yeah, I bet you will, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, Lewis is trending on TikTok, man. It's mad, you know. It's mad.
Yeah, bro. Every time I open one of the football group chats, a new video from Lewis is in there. I was like, wow, what's going on?
Yeah, man, it's mad, bro. With different effects and that, you know, it's mad. Like it adds to the emotion, man. It's mad. But Patrick, Big up to you for coming on. Make sure you go follow Pat's channel. Link is in the
Honestly,
description.
it's a pleasure. You boys, football knowledge is A1. The banter's A1. The thing is, we're all real. We all talk our talk, but we're all also honest football fans, and it's always a pleasure. Everyone in the comments, thank you for tuning in and getting involved. Follow me on Twitter, Patrick Tyrant. My podcast channels, Chatty Patty. You can find it on YouTube. And yeah, I'm here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, as always, get involved, follow all the boys, and just keep doing what you're not doing. Everyone's doing a great job.
Come on,
honestly,
we'd love to see it. Come on. Big up to everybody. I'm back tomorrow with a Man Dem chat. Other than that, man, enjoy the rest of the evening. We're out. Peace.